This is the second part of creating the adding a new thread or new conversation to the list view controller, to the table view. First, it's complaining here about the dot red. You can just add UI color in front of it and it would stop complaining. That would just work. Perfect. That's one way. Another way to fix this would be to say that this is a UI color. So that's another way of doing that. It's up to you. And the add new thread does not exist. So let's create that function. We can just create it below it. So just type func, add new thread. And here we need to have the thread here as the parameter. And let's work on what it would do. So first we add it to the mocks, to the threads, right? Dot append thread. And then we refresh the table view dot reload data. Why? Because if you don't do that, then you're not going to see the new thread. So that's definitely something you need to do. Yes, so it's complaining that mock thread is unmutable. So we need to change that. Let's go to the definition of this and put this as a var. And now it's actually a good time to rename mock threads to threads. I know we have 3 mocks, but let's just rename that. So refactor, rename, and let's call this one threads, okay? There we go. Press enter or rename, and here we go. It's been changed everywhere. All right, so something else we need to change is to add different colors every time we add a new thread, because right now it's always red, but we don't want this. We want to create a function that returns a different color. So let's do this. Func get random thread color or ribbon color, let's call it, yeah. Random ribbon color. And what we will do here is that let's create a list of colors. So let colors is equal, let's say that it's an array of colors, right? So that's an array of color and is equal to, let's open and close the brackets and let's add some colors. So I can do, for now, just, just work on adding some colors. So I'm going to do system red dot system green or system orange and so on, right? Okay, and one more, and that's enough. System teal. There we go. Now you can, you can select your own colors, but that will do. So now we have a bunch of colors. Let's pick a random color out of this. So let random index. So let's get an index is equal to int, and let's use arc for random. That's one that comes from C, uniform. And let's do one bound. It's a UI 30 uint 32. So uint 32, and the size would be trending colors or the colors here. So the area of colors, right? Dot count. So it knows that to go from any of those colors and not go more than the number of colors we have. All right, and now let's just return that. So return color, the colors, and let's take it at the index. So that would be the random index. All right. And by the way, we need to say that this returns a color. So return a UI color. There we go. That's going to fix that. And there we go. So now let's use this method here. Instead of dot red, remove this and put get random ribbon color. Okay. It's complaining because we need a self here because we are inside of a thread. So self dot. There we go. Okay. Oh, by the way, yes, we have to force the self. So what I'm going to do is I can probably just do like this or do like this. UI color or dot red like this. So if it's nil, then that will return that. So that's one way of doing it. So by default, it would be red if there's no values. All right. So now let's press play and see what we get out of this. By the way, this is not going to work because we need, whenever we click here, nothing happens because we need to actually connect this add button tapped. So let's do that. I'm going to the main storyboard. I select the button, go to the connection tab, and here on the touch up inside, all right, I'm going to drag and drop the touch up inside to the thread list view and select the add button tapped method. All right, let's rerun. And let's see what happens. So I'm going to click on plus. Well, it doesn't seem to be working because we are creating the alert view controller, but we never are displaying it. So once we create the buttons, let's display it. So first, let's add. So the alert controller dot add action. Let's add the cancel action, and then we add the create action. All right, so we have the two buttons, the add and the cancel. Oh, by the way, it's cancel with an L here. There we go. And finally, let's present it. Present the alert controller animated, true, and completion nil. So right now, we don't want any completion once it's done for now. All right. So let's save. Let's run. And now let's click on the button. And there we go. It's adding a new conversation. Enter the name of the person, Rebecca, and click add. And check this out. Now we also have Rebecca. So you can keep on trying. And now let's call this one Brittany. Click on add. There we go. With a different color. As you can see, so far so good, right? Angela, another color. Well, the colors are very close. You know, we can work on a better algorithm to change the colors, but that's good enough. Now, what I want you to do is every time you add, you know, technically it's supposed to call the code, and you can literally check this. If you go to the thread manager, whenever we click on add thread, here it's supposed to, you know, whenever we set, it's supposed to call this, so it's supposed to save it locally. And let's take a look at this. Let's add a new conversation. Jenny, okay, click on add. Well, it doesn't seem that it called that. So we got to find a way to make sure that we are calling the thread manager, right? To be able to add. Because if we don't do that, it's never going to save. And how do I know that it's not saving? Well, if you stop and you click on the thread list view controller and you remove the threads inside. So I'm literally going to just remove those 3 threads I recreated. And if you press play, if they don't appear, that means that they were never stored, right? So let's take a look. As you can see, they're not appearing. So in the next lecture, let's work on making sure that we are getting the threads that are getting stored as well.